Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Unbettable. I am Mondo here with Holmes and Gary. And on today's episode, guess what we got? We got triple threat takeaways. We have college football recap, NFL recap, and then we'll do a little mid-season evaluation of where we're at. Betting wise, mental health wise, just this season's taken a toll on us, especially last week. So boys, how are we doing today? How we feeling? I know it was a rough weekend for all of us, but we were all in person together. So I'll let you guys kick it off.
Yeah, what a weekend for sports, to say the least. I mean, college football, so many upsets. Gator football, actually, what the fuck are we doing? Tampa Bay Buccaneers, secondary, what the fuck are we doing? I mean, I have so much shit going on in my own life. I just wish my teams would perform. But unfortunately, that's not the case. So here we are.
Well, I don't want to be that guy, but you definitely costed one of those teams.
I did not, bro. I was
Holmes,
speaking.
you hear about this yet?
No.
So we're sitting in Matt's room, 108. We're all chilling, watching the game. It's coming down to the end of it. We got Smacks lining up for the final field goal, win the game, ready to go. Gary goes, he's going to miss it. That's all he said. He's going to miss it. And we all looked at him like, you mother effer. Like, really? Sure enough, Trey Smacks boots it, misses by a mile and a half. And just, it's all Gary's fault. So, all the UF fans out there, just know you have one man to blame in particular. It is Gary Gowdy, the man at the bottom of the screen right now. It is his fault that we lost this weekend. You can put that shit on a poster.
God
Yeah.
damn it.
Don't blame it on our lack of tackling or inability to defend a pass play or
No,
inability to do anything. Just
because when
blame
it came down to it, all we needed to do was make the kick, and you told the man to miss.
Could have never been that close to begin with. 2-5 Arkansas. Come on.
Yeah, that's true.
Holmes, how you doing?
Man, we had a tough weekend. College football did not look good this weekend. NFL was rough. Just got to get back on a better page this weekend. Got to come out with some better picks. I am so sorry for all of you out there that tailed me because I was not good this weekend. And that's probably one of the first times I've had a really shit weekend like that. It's probably since we've started the pod. So I gotta shape shit up.
It happens. I mean, it just happened to double down that I missed every single anytime touchdown where I'm usually cash with that. I didn't hit a single one.
Yeah.
It's never happened before. I'll be better. I promise you. There will be nobody that bets harder than I will the rest of the season. There'll be nobody who pushes this podcast to bet better than I will the rest of the season. Thank you very much. God bless.
Yeah, let them know. Let them know. Love that.
Yeah, I guess we might as well get into it. College football, man, what a shit show of a weekend. Holmes, I'll let you take it away, but just to touch again on the Gators, just we are not in a good place right now. We need to figure our shit out. We cannot tackle. It is just an abysmal look for all of us. We are all unhappy. Obviously, we were all together this weekend, and it just wasn't great. So I guess we could kind of just do takeaways instead of college football to start off. So, my takeaway is that we as Gator Nation need to be better. It's unacceptable. We have our own fans aiming for our team to lose. We cannot have that. It's not allowed. So that's takeaway number one for me. Gator Nation, we need to be better and we need to support our guys. You can't win games if the fan base is not behind you. That's a fact.
True.
All right, who wants to do their takeaway one?
Go ahead.
I can go. You want me to go, Gary?
Yep.
All right. I'm just sticking college football for all three this weekend because I just think so much different shit happened. Obviously, we'll touch about a lot on it in a lot of our bets that we missed. But I think one of the biggest things for me was Texas and Ole Miss hanging on for really close 3-point wins in both of their games. I was on the other side of both of these games in my college football pick'em pool. Had Texas A&M plus 4.5, so that was nice to get, and also had Kansas State plus 4.5, so that was good to come in there too. But good for Texas and Ole Miss for sticking with it in these really close, tight games and proving that they are the real deal this year. I think in past years we would have seen Ole Miss and especially Texas fold under that kind of late game pressure of having such a nice lead to start out the game with, and then boom, Kansas State comes running back at the end of the game. Texas A&M doing the same thing to Ole Miss. That was back and forth almost the whole way. But good on both of those teams, the 7th and 10th ranked team in the nation by the college football playoff committee. They would have definitely lost those games in recent years, and their season would have just been down the toilet right there. So hype to those teams for sticking with it. I think they're going to be real contenders come time of the college football playoff.
Gare?
I'm gonna take it to NFL and kind of state the obvious, but even more obvious now. The New York Giants are fucked. They're fucked. Daniel Jones is gone. Tyrod Taylor is on the IR. Who is playing QB tonight? Or not tonight, but for the Giants for the rest of the season? Does anybody know? Because
No
I looked
clue.
it up today, and apparently they don't even have a third string. So it's
No
gonna
clue.
it's gonna have to be some jit off the fucking practice team. So yeah, the Giants, your season's down the toilet.
Mm-hmm. My second takeaway, I'm also going to head to the NFL. Ladies and gentlemen, the Cincinnati Bengals are all the way back.
Yeah, dude.
This team started off in the shitter. Everyone had counted them out. I said, just wait. Just wait. Give him till after that bye. Joe Burrow's going to feel better. He's going to be able to be mobile in the pocket. Look where we are now. We're smoking the Bills on Sunday Night Football. The Bengals are all the way back. They will make the playoffs. They will be a force in the playoffs. I wouldn't be shocked to see them get to the championship only to lose to the Dolphins. The Bengals are all the way back, and they are a scary team with this offense that they have. And I cannot wait to watch them the rest of the season. It is going to be so much fun. So that's
Absolutely.
my second takeaway. Holmes, what's yours?
Nice. All right, sticking with the college theme. I want to give massive props to Oklahoma State because this was a team in the Big 12, had high aspirations this year, came out of the gate, started 2-2, and everybody threw them to the wayside. And since then, they've rattled off 5 great wins. And specifically, I need to shout out their running back. If you don't know about this guy right now, he is a very, very dark horse for the Heisman. Ollie Gordon II, the running back for Oklahoma State. This guy is an absolute tank. So first 4 games were really tough for Oklahoma State. Couldn't get going on offense. He had some really tough games. They lost against South Alabama and Iowa State back-to-back. But then starting with the 5-game winning streak against Kansas State, he rushes for 136 yards and a touchdown. Next week against 23-ranked Kansas, he goes 168 and a tutty. Then it's West Virginia at West Virginia, 282, 4 touchdowns. Comes back at home against Cincinnati, 271, 2 touchdowns on the ground. Then he goes and faces a very stingy Oklahoma defense, 9th ranked in the nation overall. Oklahoma is, and he rushes for 137 and 2 touchdowns. This guy is phenomenal on the ground. Not enough people talking about him. Oklahoma State is 7-2. They're going to shoot up. I think they already did in the rankings. I want to check and see what they are actually this week. Up to 15 in the AP poll. The college football playoff committee is going to give them some major props for upsetting Oklahoma. But Oklahoma State, big team to watch out for in the Big 12 this year.
Yeah.
Fire Todd Bowles.
Yeah.
This is my second takeaway, and it is to fire Todd Bowles. I mean, this fucking guy, man. You know, usually like whenever I talk about the Bucks after a loss, I'm bagging on Baker. I mean, Baker didn't play that bad this weekend. I mean, the Bucks as a team put up 37 points, which I really can't be mad at because that's better than we usually do. But Todd Bowles, his face does not change at all, bro. And it pisses me off. It's like he does not want to be there. Straight up. Like, if I'm somewhere and I don't want to be there, that's exactly how my face would be. Like, It doesn't matter what happens. A pick, a fumble, they score, the other team scores. It's the same face, and I'm tired of it, and I'm tired of losing. So yeah, fire Todd Bowles.
Through that.
All right, my third takeaway, I'm going to head to the NBA. And I want to talk about LeBron's comments today that he made to the media. First, he said, you know, his time with the Heat was amazing. You know, I love you, LeBron, for being on the Heat, massive Heat fan, you know, all that. But let's not act like you would still be where you're at without them. Because you said right here, I think I would still be at this level no matter if I would have come here or not. I don't think that's true, my dude. You came to Miami to learn how to win, how to build a team culture, because you could not do it on your own. You needed to learn from D Wade, UD, Chris Bosh. You needed to learn how to build up a franchise the correct way. You had no chance to do it, and that's why you had to leave the Cavs. You didn't have the ability. You didn't know what you were doing. You didn't know how to lead correctly. So don't sit here and act like, oh, I would still be at this level. I'd still be, you know, in the GOAT conversation if, you know, I didn't go to the Heat. That's horseshit, man. Accept the fact that you would not be where you are without the guidance of the Heat culture. That's crap. You know that's crap. Get that out of the media comments because you know you wouldn't be half as good and have half as many championships as you had without the Miami Heat, and put that on your fucking name. That's some bullshit.
What a statement.
Bon.
Man, for the third one, I am also going to go down to South Florida, but I'm going to tackle the University of Miami. The very disappointing loss, 20-6 at NC State this past Saturday. And we are obviously not Miami fans here in this pod, but they were putting together a nice season and looking pretty good under Mario Cristobal in his second year. They were 6-2 coming into this game, coming off of 2 straight wins at home against Clemson and Virginia. And then you lay an egg against NC State. The offense looks like garbage. They couldn't get anything going. Tyler Van Dyke looked awful. 3 interceptions on the day. That's just really, really disappointing for Miami, bro, because as good as they have looked at certain points in this season, they have just had these very weird letdown type of games almost. Like the Georgia Tech loss should have been an easy win. And we already talked about Mario Cristobal screwing that one up. North Carolina, they got their doors blown off, and the score of 41-31 indicates that it's a lot closer than it was. But if you watch that game, Miami got shelled, and their only chance of putting points up on the board was in garbage time in the fourth quarter. So honestly, it's disappointing for Miami to have to go kind of feeling like they're back in squalor at 6-3, which is still a decent record so far this year. But I think just the bad losses are getting to the Canes, and it is tough to see for a rebuilding franchise.
Yeah, what's your final takeaway?
Well, this isn't necessarily a takeaway from the weekend, but it's going to be a takeaway for the future. Florida basketball is back. We have a new sport to watch. We have something new to be depressed about if they suck, which I really hope they don't. This is Golden's second year. Will it be the golden year? Yeah, I don't know. Not too much coming from the team overall. You know, we lost a couple big players. But I'm hopeful. Tonight we play Loyola. I can't even speak. Loyola. 25-point favorites for that game. Can't wait to watch it. Starts at 8:00. Go Gators. Go Chi-Fi. Go America. Let's ride.
Thank you, Gary. I can always rely on you for that. Holmes, let's just go ahead. We'll swing it right over to you for college football. You take us through the bets of the weekend, the biggest issues, you know, the usual stuff we do. So, floor is yours, sir.
Yeah, dude, we'll rattle off on the bets for the weekend. 5-7 for me. I was not good. This is definitely my worst college football weekend I've had on the pod since we've started. Just really tough. 12 bets out there. I was feeling good about a lot of them. But we'll talk about the winners first. The under 31 in Iowa and Northwestern, guys, this was an auto bet. If you see a total this low, you have to bet the under. This was a 7-0 game for the majority of the game. It was crazy. Like, these offenses are so pitiful. There's a battle for field position. easy under 31 right there. Bama came through for us with the -3, covering that spread and over 31.5 team total. They looked really nice against LSU at home, putting up 42 and really making a statement, definitely for the college football playoff committee. Louisville -9. That was, I think, pretty easy too. I mean, honestly, we've been riding Louisville a lot this season. If you don't know about Louisville, you're lost at this point. That is a very good team. They have shit put together this year in the ACC, and it is very possible they can contend for an ACC title this year. And then the last one, we got Tennessee first half -19.5. That was probably one of the easiest ones of the weekend too, facing a very bad UConn team. I mean, they just absolutely went in on the Huskies. So that was pretty easy to get. But as far as our losses, man, it was tough this weekend. The Iowa State money line, I know you were on the spread on that, Mondo. That was a tough one to lose at Kansas. I really thought that Iowa State was going to get that win at home, and Kansas was going to be a massive letdown spot. But tough beat for us there. I thought that was the right side, but ended up taking an L there. Miami -4, I just talked about. Miami absolutely pooped the bed against NC State. Tyler Van Dyke, horrible game. Nebraska -3. I was very surprised by this. To lose by 3 to Michigan State, a very bad team with literally so much controversy surrounding that program this year. Very surprised that Matt Rule did not have the boys ready to get a nice win there. That was disappointing not to get that one. Worst beat of the weekend by far. Michigan over 41.5 team total, lands at 41. Of course it does. This has happened to me like probably 3 or 4 times with Michigan so far this year, just with first half spreads, first quarter spreads, team totals. They keep fucking me over. They're with USC. They're on the no bet list from here on out. We cannot afford to put any more money on them. Maryland +9. Man, we got absolutely destroyed on this. Penn State blew Maryland out of the water. It wasn't even close. 51-15. Penn State looked the part, and that was not a look ahead spot for them at all. They are gearing up to take on Michigan this upcoming week. And then over 50 in FSU and Pitt. That was a tough one, 24-7, low scoring game there. We thought FSU could honestly get to that number by themselves, but offense did not have the showing we thought they would have. And then I think we also took an L on over 55 in Georgia and Mizzou. I got to make sure I put that bet in here because I don't think I have that. But yeah, that was tough. That one was pretty close. I think it landed at 51 overall, so we were close to that one. But I expected just a little bit more offense from the Georgia Bulldogs there, especially after literally splattering Florida last week. They went all in on us. I thought they would be in a groove, putting up some points against Missouri. So tough one there. 5-7 for the weekend. What can you do? On to the next week. We're going to look to get some winners this week. Stick with me. We're still 25-18-1 overall, so we're still winning. Just got to put together a good week here.
Yeah. Swinging it over to my bets for college football. I went 4-2 this weekend. I'll explain in further detail why it's that way, but Oregon, Cal over 59. I mean, Oregon did that on their own. That was kind of a lock from the start. Cal has no defense. We've been knowing this. And Oregon is just dominant. Bo Nix is clearly becoming one of the favorites for a Heisman this year. That man knows how to toss a rock. I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
Bama -3. Not really a surprise here. Bama was kind of like a surefire. This is one of those games where they haven't been playing well this season. They need to do something to keep their name on the map. What do? They go out, they do their thing against LSU and absolutely body them. So it completely made sense. It's one of those just typical Nick Saban. We're going to show you we're still here and we're still going to run it up. So nothing crazy there. Northwestern +5.5. Like Holmes and I were saying last pod, there was no offense in this game. Yeah, like just heading in, you knew that. So I was hoping, honestly, for a 0-0 tie. I think that would have been hilarious. I was cheering for that for a lot of the game, but I'll take the +5.5. It was a terrible game to watch. I kind of just flicked back and forth and almost fell asleep when I was watching it. So didn't really enjoy that at all. And then Ricky Pearsall, anytime tutty. That man plays bully ball. He bullied his way into the end zone. He was balling. He did his thing. Gators obviously came up short because of Gary Gowdy, but Pearsall did his thing. To the losers this weekend, Iowa State -2.5. Kansas just played good defense. There's nothing you can really do about that. Iowa State just did not have a good game, and that happens in college football. There's surprises all the time, so I'm not really too upset. It is what it is. FSU Pitt over like Holmes. It just we thought it would hit. We thought it would be that same kind of situation with Oregon Cal. Just didn't work out. So, you live and you learn, but that kind of sucks. And then obviously the Keon Coleman, I got a little heat on this for Twitter. I pulled that money right before the game started. We didn't tweet it out because we were in the middle of a tailgate. So we really didn't have any reception to like load Twitter, but I was able to get my money out of that bet. Bovada came in clutch with the 1 bar service. So he obviously didn't end up playing. So the TD bet didn't happen. So got lucky there, ended up 4-2. If you bet that and you couldn't pull your money out, I'm sorry. Didn't mean to. It was a busy day, busy weekend. Couldn't keep track of what was going on. So ended up pretty good college football weekend. Obviously still down on the season, but we're getting better, and that's kind of what matters. We're slowly improving.
Yes, sir.
Gary,
I didn't touch college football this weekend.
nothing from Gary.
Fair.
All right. Let's move it over to NFL. We'll go through our bets real quick, and then we'll briefly touch on each game. So I think I had the most bets, so I'll kind of run through it real quick. Let's just go in order. Dolphins +3, obviously a heartbreaker to start your Sunday. Just wasn't ideal. Tyreek Hill really fumbled the ball, quite literally. Gary's dancing over here. Once again, the Bucks suck. That's like his whole takeaways this year. So I don't know why he's dancing, but we're gonna see him in the playoffs. Probably not. So pipe down. Dolphins +3 didn't hit. They should have played a lot better than they did. Tyreek Hill just fed way too much into the drama. Thielen over 5.5 receptions. He came in at 5. Just didn't hit that over mark. We really needed it. I felt confident. Just didn't happen. Rams +3.5. There's that trap line. I fell for it. It's not going to happen again. Cowboys, Eagles over 43.5. That was an easy money game. We'll talk about kind of the ending of it later, but if you didn't bet the over in that game, I'm sorry, but you're crazy. Bills, Bengals under 53.5. This was just kind of set up as a game that like that total is just way too high for a primetime game. Like players are just playing so much harder than they normally do. There was no way that total was going to hit. So cash there. Raiders money line, Colts money line, both of those cash, easy work. I have Chargers -3.5 tonight. So we'll see how that goes. And then I also put out a parlay. I put a bunch of units on this parlay because I felt really confident, and it sure as hell paid off. So the parlay was Vikings, Falcons over 35.5. That was an easy play, and it sure as hell delivered. Aaron Donald over 0.25 sacks. He got one pretty much right out the gate. So, and then Cleveland Browns over 0.5 takeaways. Again, Browns defense is legit. This parlay hit. First, I think, successful parlay for us on the season, which is awesome, awesome, awesome. I'm going to keep doing it. I'm feeling pretty good when it comes to this. But on the negative side, none of my anytime touchdowns hit. Mark Andrews, Tyreek Hill, DJ Moore, and Lamar Jackson, all 4 of them did not get a tutty. It is what it is. It happens. You can only be hot for so long before you have a bad game. It happens to everybody. So we get back out there next week and we run it up like we used to. But sorry if you tailed me on those. I know I normally hit them. I lost a fair amount of money because of it, but you live and you learn. Keenan Allen tonight for a touchdown. I want 1 on the board.
Yes, sir.
That's kind of where I'm at for bets. Wasn't a great weekend, wasn't a bad weekend. That parlay really saved my ass from a lot of loses. So I'm happy with that. But Holmes?
Yeah, just 2-4 for me. Not really a great NFL Sunday either. Winners first. Eagles -3. That was nice. We were honestly really close to losing that, but I felt good in the Eagles to be able to get a nice win over the Cowboys. I just, I don't believe in the Cowboys in these big primetime games, especially against a team that was as good as the Eagles. So nice to get the -3 there. And the Packers minus 3.5. Hate to say it, Mondo, but we told you, bro. We really did tell you. We told you this was the biggest trap of the weekend, possibly one of the biggest ones of the season. There was Packers had no business getting 3 points right there. Even the 3.5, I mean, that was light. Rams did not even show up. Brett Ripien was horrible. That offense couldn't do anything against the Packers. But as for the losses, man, just a tough weekend on the props. 3 different receiving props that I dropped. Adam Thielen over 69.5 receiving yards. Just not a good game for him. And honestly, one of the rare ones of the season. So we'll probably still be on that in the future, but just a tough game for him this past weekend. Trey McBride over 40.5 receptions or receiving yards. Sorry. That was plus money. That was at plus 100. I thought that was pretty decent value there, but the Cardinals just did not look good with their backup QB. So he got only 22 yards, I think, on the day. Not great for him, especially with Ertz out. We were really liking the value on that, but did not come through for us. And then Tyreek Hill, 94.5 receiving yards. I thought this was a revenge game against the Chiefs. I really liked him here to at least get 100 against his former team and only held to 62. He was definitely held in check for most of the day. So tough to miss that as well. And then Gary knows this, but Bucks money line for plus 125, man. We were feeling good about that with 46 seconds left in the game. And then CJ Stroud, man, props to him. That kid looks really good. He looks like literally the steal of the draft, and he was the 2nd overall pick. I mean, that guy diced our defense up. He had a phenomenal game. Hats off to CJ Stroud. He's been a monster this year.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. CJ Stroud, what a stud. I went 4 for 4 actually, which I was pretty surprised. 4 for 4. I had Ravens minus 6.5. The Ravens I think are on fire right now. I mean, a 37-3 dub. That's pretty dominant. We love to see it. My next bet was that Green Bay trap. Green Bay minus 3.5. Honestly, I heard Hart say it, and I liked the way he said it, and I was like, "Fuck it, we ball and let's ride." So I wrote that shit out. Paid off. Colts minus 2.5. Panthers aren't gonna get lucky twice in a row. It's just not gonna happen. They still suck, even though they finally won a game. So I figured that was too low of a spread to not take. And then Bengals minus 2.5. Like Mondo said, he's back, bro. He was all over the field last night. So I love to see it. And again, the Bills, bro. I say it every week. They're just not them. Not this year, at least. I mean, Diggs, I really feel bad. He just does not look like he's having fun this year. So tough day to be a Bills fan. Bills Mafia stands strong, but he's back, baby.
Yeah, we'll briefly go through the games. I feel like we hit most of them. Obviously Dolphins, Kansas City. Kansas City wins 21-14. Just an abysmal couple plays for the Dolphins that should have gone the other way, and it would have been a completely different outcome. There weren't really anyone in particular that, made a flashy play or anything. Obviously, that Kansas City fumble recovery touchdown was kind of the turning point in the game, and just wasn't really great. So if you guys have anything on that, feel free to chime in. If not, I can go to the next.
Nah, man, just a get right game there for the Chiefs after a tough Broncos loss. So that's it right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vikings at Falcons. Vikings win 31-28. Taylor Heineke debut. He didn't play bad at all. He just couldn't get it done against the Vikings. And it happens, man. Josh Dobbs going over his cadence right before the game starts. And, he gets in there and does his thing and they catch a dub. Now they have Justin Jefferson coming back next week. Shoot, man. Vikings are a dark horse team still. Don't sleep on them because Kirk Cousins is out. That's all I'll say on that one.
Yeah. I honestly think that was game of the week. I was watching that with Sean, and it really came down to the very end. And watching Josh Dobbs, it was funny because Sean was like back and forth in his emotions because Josh Dobbs had a few turnovers there that seemed to be like back to back to back. Ended up pulling it off. So good on the kid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. Josh Dobbs, good for you for making a real name for yourself this season. Just getting traded all over the place at the start of the season. Started off with the Titans, then to the Cardinals, now with the Vikings. Guys had to learn so many different playbooks and didn't even get a full week of practice in with the team this week. Doesn't even know all of their names. Like,
Mm-hmm.
good for that guy for coming in and just being an absolute gamer, leading his boys to a win.
Yeah. Speaking of the Cards, they get blanked by the Browns 27-0. Mari Cooper had himself a day. He is back. He is balling. Deshaun Watson's also back. That kind of fucking sucks, but whatever. Cardinals, we've been knowing they suck. Kyler Murray's coming back. Maybe they'll help a little bit, maybe it won't. I don't really know. But the Browns defense, as we know, they are legit. They stay legit. They just know how to ball, man. And that's all you really need to know about that team.
Yeah,
What?
you got it.
Yeah.
So I was just gonna say defense, bro. Browns defense is crazy. Like, if you don't
Yeah.
know that they're one of the best units in the league by now, you have not been watching close enough, because Myles Garrett is literally going to be, I say this every week, Myles Garrett is going to be defensive player of the year. That man is playing with his hair on fire.
Oh yeah, he is balling.
Yeah.
Rams at Packers, the trap game. Packers win 20-3. Aaron Jones, he is balling out. He is finally used the way he should be. Thank you, Gary, for trading him to me. Jordan Love had himself a revenge game after, just putting up some terrible performances in 4 straight weeks. He finally pieces of one together that, he just it keeps him in the starting role for a little bit longer, right? That's kind of what he's doing right now. So other than that, obviously I fell into the trap. You never want that to happen, and you learn from it. So
It's all right, man. Everybody falls for it every once in a while. It's okay.
yeah, it is what it is. I'm not too upset. Commanders at Patriots. Commanders win 2017. Patriots are trash. We've been knowing this. Sam Howell is low-key dirty. 325 passing yards. He was airing the rock out. Are we gonna see Belichick on a retirement tour soon, or like he doesn't look like he's having a good time. Granted, he never does, but I I'm starting to question it. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what to say about this one, man. I was not interested in this game at all. Only bright spot is Sam Howell continues to put up very big passing numbers for the
Mhm.
Commanders. He looks like he could definitely be their guy moving forward, and I don't think anybody really expected this.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Belichick, I really think that, if this season continues the way it has been, like, which I'm assuming it will be, like, I really think he should consider calling it. I mean, I feel bad for him, honestly, bro, because like he should go down as one of the best coaches to ever do it. I am not, and like that's my opinion. People
He
can
will.
disagree, agree, whatever. But I feel like this season has really just tarnished him, and like you could like see it in his face. He's just beat, bro, and he just doesn't have the tools he used to have. So it's tough, but like I do think it's time for him to wrap it up.
Yeah. Um, Bears at Saints. Saints win 24-17. The Bears are still hanging around in all these games. Sorry, Lip. The team just cannot close. It is what it is, but so be it. Not really much else to say about it. Just wasn't all that like good of a game. Just
Nah, nothing on this game for
like your
sure.
typical Ravens 37, Seahawks 3. Lamar Jackson did his thing and the ball off. The running game looked great. They finally got it together. The Ravens are another team that's a dark horse candidate to run it up this year. The AFC is stacked, absolutely stacked, and OBJ gets his first tutty on his birthday. So we should probably keep, kind of looking out for those birthday bets because I feel like they're gonna cash. But
Yeah, just two things from this game. Number one, Baltimore is incredibly dominant at home. And number two, Lamar Jackson is now 18-1 against NFC opponents.
mhm,
Holy shit.
he crushes them.
Yeah.
On to what I thought was the game of the week. I know you guys are obviously in a tough spot with it. Texans Bucks, man, that was a fucking shootout. Texans obviously snuck it out 39-37 on a, last second throw to Tank Dell. But CJ Stroud's balling 470 yards, 5 tutties. This is rookie of the year numbers. This kid is legit fucking IQ test. It does not matter. He knows how to ball, and that's all that you need to know. Yeah, Bucks fall to 3-5, but it was a hell of a shootout in the fourth quarter, and that's all you can ask for. That's what makes football football. So, you guys talked on it earlier, so I won't keep making you be miserable. Raiders, Giants. Raiders obviously we're gonna smoke them 30-6. Giants suck. They have no quarterback, like Gary said. Josh Jacobs did his thing. He finally got his 2 tutties, almost eclipsed 100 yards, just barely came up short. Raiders are starting to put it together a little bit. I'm a little worried about Devontae Adams, but he can do what he wants. It really doesn't matter. So, Eagles, Cowboys, absolute what?
Just thinking about Devontae Adams.
Yeah, he's in a bad spot right now.
Yeah.
Eagles, Cowboys, Eagles snuck it out 28-23. I want to talk about this last drive of the game. I don't know what the hell that was. The amount of penalties, the amount of horse shit that I watched in that final Cowboys drive, I was beyond confused, but I was fully invested because that's what football is all about. Dak Prescott continues to prove the haters wrong. CD Lamb putting up another great performance, 11 receptions, 191 yards, doing his thing. But yeah, just a classic NFC Beast matchup. Not much more you can ask for on a late night and Sunday. It was just a great game.
Yeah, that's all there is to say, man. Great game. It's finally good to see something very competitive and fun to watch in the late window.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the penalties were fucking nuts watching that ball go back and forth, back and forth. But like the one criticism I have, which I'm not an NFL quarterback, so take this with a grain of salt. But like Dak airing that ball out, I think it was the second to last play. And after the play was over, left him with like 5 seconds left. Like I really felt like they should have spiked the ball there. Like I don't understand what the thought process was behind that because they wasted like 10 seconds on some play that was like, a Hail Mary and a half. And I don't know. I think that game could have went a different direction if they would have just spiked it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. It was such a weird sequence.
Yeah.
I didn't understand what they were doing. It was just fun to watch it all freak out and all of Twitter freak out. But yeah, it was weird. Finally to wrap it up, Sunday Night Football, Bills, Bengals. We talked about it already. The Bengals are back. They won 24-18. Joe Burr, 348 passing yards, 2 tutties. Josh Allen doing his thing, running the ball. But yeah, just a good matchup for Sunday Night Football. Probably the best one we've had this year, I would say, in terms of just how close it was. But it was just a good game. Bills 5-4, 1-3 on the road. You're a little worried about them if you're Bills fans. So good luck with that.
Yeah, fun to watch. You touched on it all. Bengals, man, they're back. That's all there is to say.
Finally, Monday Night Football, Chargers at the Jets. What bets do we have tonight, boys? Put it together. I'll go first and give you guys some time. I took Chargers -3.5. The Jets aren't there right now. Zach Wilson is not going to lead this team to a win. Aaron Rodgers could be coming back soon, but it doesn't matter for this game. So Chargers -3.5. Keenan Allen touchdown. He's been quiet over the past couple games. He's definitely due for a big night tonight. I think he's going to ball. And then there was one more I was going to do, but I think I'm going to hold it to those two for now. And if it comes back to me, I'll tweet it out. But that's where we're sitting with my bets. Holmes?
I'm just taking 2 props tonight. I know my props haven't really gone that well this weekend, but I'm hoping to shift the tide a little bit. I'm going to take Breece Hall over 22.5 receiving yards. I know my boy Kyle is on this as well. I really like this. Zach Wilson has been dumping off to Breece Hall a lot. The pressure is just it can be too much for Zach Wilson, and he is not the type of guy that's going to stand in the pocket and try and air it out downfield. He just doesn't have the skill set, or I think the confidence right now. So Brees Hall's been balling, man. I think this prop is just a little too low for my liking. I like Brees Hall to go over his receiving yards tonight. And then, I love me some primetime picks. So I'm going to take Justin Herbert to throw an interception for what I got the odds on that -115. So not bad at all. He has, I think, 5 picks on the year, but all of them have been coming in recent games. I think last week he was clean against the Bears, no picks. He had a really good game against a really bad defense. But that is not the deal tonight against the Jets. The Jets have a pretty nice defense, and they've been playing some very talented quarterbacks since the start of the season, really. So I like them to step up right here. Could be Sauce, maybe gets the pick, but I see Justin Herbert at least throwing one tonight. Could be a tipped ball, could just be an errant throw, but I definitely see the Jets taking one away tonight.
Gary?
I like the over. I don't know why, but it's speaking to me right now on my screen. So I'm gonna take that one. That's a Gary gut feeling, cashed out bitching, because you already know how them bitches be riding. And then Chargers, I like them -3. I don't really think the Jets have been doing it for me over the past couple weeks. This prime time, baby. So, Zach Wilson, we're gonna cash that little interception for him as well. So we got the interception from Zach Wilson, Chargers -3, and then the over 41.
All right.
All right.
That's going to be Monday Night Football. Gary, make sure you tweet it out. We'll drop it in the chat just to make it easy on you. I think we should save the mid-season recap for once mid-season hits, which would be Wednesday. So
All right.
we'll save it for that. We'll end it a little early, give you guys some time back in your nights. Oh, Holmes has a couple picks for NBA and Shell. Holmes,
Yes.
take it away, and then we'll wrap it up.
Absolutely. I'm gonna get these guys out to you real quick because so the first game that I have tonight, I'm gonna have 2 in the NBA, 1 in the NHL. We're gonna try and look to get right after a rough weekend. So here we go. These 2 NBA picks. So far, you need to understand that I've been looking at a lot of these NBA spreads and looking where the public is putting their money. So far, we are 3-0, fading the public over 90% of the bets. We had the Raptors +4.5 earlier last week against the Bucks. They won outright. The Spurs +8.5 a few nights ago against the Suns. They won outright as well. And then the Pelicans -7 at home. They covered that spread very, very easily. So we're 3-0 right now with this tactic. Not all these bets are going to hit, but we're going to keep this strategy going right now. So 2 in the NBA. I love the Rockets +2.5 tonight at home against Sacramento. Both of these teams have the same record. Obviously, the Rockets are not the best team in the world, but they're very young. They're developing. They're learning how to play together. I think they can keep it close, especially at home tonight. And then we're going to take the same thing with the Pelicans, but +6.5 on the road at Denver. New Orleans is 2-0 against the spread on the road so far this year. Denver, I think, is 3-1 at home, so they have a good home record as well, ATS. But again, we're taking the fade, the public play here, taking New Orleans to keep it within 6. And then to the ice, this line did not make any sense to me tonight. There's only 4 games tonight, and 2 of them have already started, but we're going to take the late game, 10 p.m., Edmonton at Vancouver. We're taking the Oilers to win this game on the money line. They're -110. This game should not be a pick 'em. The Oilers are 2-7-1 so far this season. Their goaltending has been abysmal. They've been a massive disappointment 10 games into the season. On the other side, the Canucks, 7-2-1. They've looked very nice at the start of the season so far, and they have already beat Edmonton twice so far this season. Now, I know it's really hard for a team to win 3 times in a row, and that's the age-old adage and everything, but this should not be a pick 'em. I really, really like the Oilers to be able to get a win tonight. A 2-7 team should not be a pick 'em, I think, in the NHL, this 7-2-1 team. Even though it's very early in the season, we're going to try and take advantage of this line tonight.
Yeah, I'm going to throw out one. Clippers +1.5 against the Knicks. Knicks suck ass.
Love it.
Who's got a God squad?
Love it. I'm going to put that
Clippers
down for you.
+1.5.
Clippers +1.5.
You heard?
Period.
All right, that's going to do it for today's episode. If you did enjoy, please like, subscribe, share with everyone you know. We will see you guys on Wednesday's episode. It's gonna be a great time. Gary's over here giggling because I know he's an idiot. What's so funny, Gary? You're messing with the outro.
Not that I just thought it was funny how you said Clippers -1.5. That's literally why I'm laughing.
Good mind 1.5.
Just fuck off and end the show.
All right. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you on the next episode. Peace.
Peace.